All right, family, how are you? I'm gonna welcome you. I'm going to give people a moment to come in to this space. I am so happy to be here with you, family. This last day of May, May 31st, we're going to have a very powerful program. But I will say this, family. Our program, the featured program, Bison in Brooklyn for Baraka, is going to be powerful. Our special guest will be here, but it's not going to be as long as I thought. For those who are just coming in, I am April R. Silver, your host for the evening. I want to give you all a minute to come in. I want to give you all a minute to tell people to come in, to share the link for how to register. Uh, I promised you that we would start on time, and we started precisely at 7. So you know that we're recording. You'll be able to share this very, very shortly. But I wanted to jump right in because we don't have as much time with our special guest who will be joining us shortly. So use this time to share the registration link for Zoom, to tell your people to come in, to let people know that we will have an opportunity to get a question or two answered, and we will have an opportunity to hear directly from Mayor Raz Baraka, our special guest. So before we do all of that, let me just give a shout out to everyone here. Okay, we got to put our phones on mute. So, we'll definitely do that. But let me give a special shout out to the members of the campaign who are here and who have been working tirelessly to make sure that this campaign is successful. So I definitely want to do that. I want to shout out my event team members as well, who I know are in the chat. So you'll be hearing from them as they, with along with campaign members, share links, because this is an opportunity to hear from Mayor Raz Baraka, but it's also an opportunity for you to donate, right? We thank you to everybody who has been donating for the past week or so with the link that we shared. But we also want to make sure that you donate today and beyond. So on that note, I want to also shout out, sorry, phone is ringing. Um, I also want to shout out Howard University in whatever way you are connected to Howard University. I want to shout you out as a current student, as alum, a faculty, administrator. Welcome, right? We are Bison here. I also want to shout out to everybody here from Brooklyn, and I want to shout out everybody who's just basically a freedom fighter from wherever, because this event is not limited to Howard University, is not limited to uh, 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 Brooklynites. It's very much available for everybody, whether you live in the state of New Jersey or not. You're going to be able to get something from this event. I also want to start this event because if you know me just a little bit, you know arts and activism is my lane. If you know me just a little bit, you know that the arts are essential. Art is like air. We can't be fully expressed and productive and evolved human beings without the arts. I know that to be true. I know it to my core. I know that that's a principle and a value from the Baraka family. Some of you might know I've known and worked with the Baraka family my entire adult life. I've been doing fundraisers. I've been on the streets of Newark whenever our dear beloved has decided to run for office, way before mayorship, and even in the when he was running for city council. I'm talking about in the 90s. So that's how far I go back with our special guests and the Baraka family. So you know that the arts are essential. So that's why that's going to be a major context for this discussion. So with that said, I want to start off with a young dynamic poet who is a Howard alum, a graduate of Texas Southern University, but also still a Howard alum. And I want to bring on to the stage, let me remove my spotlight. I want to bring on to the stage Demeric. Oh, and the mayor is here as well. But Demeric Ross is going to give us a poem, and then we're going to just jump right in. So get your questions ready. Use this time to bring people in to the chat. Share that link. And Demeric, without further ado, thank you for who you be. Thank you for your art. And so let's just jump right in. Thank you, sir. Let me put you on spotlight before. Um,
Yes, yes.
yes,
Thank you.
there we are. Mhm.
Boom. There we are, live and in living color. Thank you so much for having me. I will not belabor the moment with all of the pleasantries and niceties of public speaking, but I'll just jump right into it. I like to give this disclaimer that perceptual latency refers to the fact that the human brain processes reality about 80 milliseconds after it actually occurs. So, by the time you hear this poem, it may have already been too late to listen. So we interrupt this program to bring you breaking news live from July of 2020. Netflix announcing the acquisition of several major black television series. This in response to global demands for more representation on screen. And I ask, what is more representation when the most watched video of 2020 was a black man being lynched on Minneapolis asphalt? Now, ain't this already a major black television series? And ain't we already seen this before in every genre? Ain't this already a horror? The way his neck could no longer hold his head above the weight of this wicked white world in action. The way knee turned to weapon, asphalt to casket, Facebook Live turns funeral a comedy. A comedy, the way the world then turns and tells us to be peaceful. What does it mean for more black folk to be represented on screens when every week a new murder is broadcast live and in action for the whole world to see? See, there ain't nothing like a black person on screen that'll bring the whole world to its feet. Whether breathing or bloody, real or make believe, they'll make us believe there is something magical about the way we disappear on screens, and we are tired of going live with more Black Death in 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. In the criminal injustice system, racially based offenses are considered especially holy. In the United States, the dedicated delinquents who execute these violent crimes are members of an evil squad known as the police department. These are their stories. Bad boys, yo, the bad boys are always doing the murders around here, then calling themselves the heroes. Always calling for backup, scared our holy black bodies gonna get back up. Then tell our families who watched the murder in front their own eyes to back up as the world tells us to pray to God. But nowadays, it seems like even heaven's voicemail is backed up. How long does a black body lie in the sweltering sun before someone calls an ambulance? In 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Find out next time on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Except when black suns set in the middle of the street. The earth then gathers around his name, call this an orbit or a rally. His mother's screams are swallowed by the black holes in his body as gravity brings her to the ground. The moon asks, how long until the next sun sets? In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Find out next time on How to Get Away with Murder. Yo, April, how to get away with murder. How to Get Away with Murder is like it's like going to trial for the bullets that didn't kill Breonna Taylor. It's like Joe Biden being called an uncle like he ain't helped lock all ours up. It's like the murdered being put on trial while the murderer conducts the investigation. It's like America in 5, 4, 3, 2. Well, that's all the fun for tonight, folks. Remember, if you find yourself black and on screen, make it Oscar worthy. Or they'll murder you, Oscar Grant. In either way, the whole world will be watching live. And that's back to you, April. Thank you.
Okay, Demeric Ross. I want to see some hearts. I want to see some hand claps. I want to see that was amazing. There's a reason why arts and activism is my lane, and I thank you so much for all the way in Los Angeles where you are right now. Just amazing. Yes, more hearts, more claps. We will be hearing more from Demeric Ross, a Howard alum. We thank you. We bid you adieu. Stay, register, be in the chat. But right now, we thank you so much. You have set the tone, and I appreciate you. You might need to remove yourself. I'm like a klutz right now. So, because we're going to turn this screen over to just myself and the mayor. Okay, Demeric? Yes?
Sounds good. Yes, yes. Thank you. Peace. Shout out to all of you in the chat for all of the love. I know you're going to have an incredible conversation with another person who is right in that same lineage of poetry, practice, power, and what that means in public servants. So yeah, peace.
Thank you. We're here from you for real. You got a bright future. Thank you, nephew. Okay, so on that note, family, we're going to jump right in. We don't have a whole bunch of time. If you have questions, you can put them in. I will get to as many as I can. But welcome, Mayor Raz Baraka, my brother. So good to see you. I appreciate you, and it's good to have you here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Glad to be here. Thank you, April. It's been
Of
great.
course.
Been running around all day. So,
Yes, yes. We're only going to take a
yeah.
little bit of your time because we know that this is no joke what you're about to do. So we respect you and we honor you. We're going to raise some money. So I know that your campaign team members and my team members, I know the chat has got to be filled with those donate link to our page. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is. So Mayor Baraka, you have been having an amazing media penetration about this historic run for governor. You have talked and I have watched the episodes where the agenda items that are important to you are front and center. Property taxes too high being in the state of New Jersey, consolidating schools across the state. That's been important to you as well. More affordable housing. And I say more affordable housing because what you've done in your 3 terms as mayor of the largest city in the state of New Jersey, you've done groundbreaking work. And we know that the work that you've done in the city of Newark is so much of it in principle and concept is good for the state. So we applaud you for that. And I want to talk about something that everybody who's watching, whether they're residents or not, right, in the state of New Jersey, and it's about our value system. I want to quote your mother, who is a mentor to so many of us. She was asked on an interview from decades ago, how do we go about getting a new value system and being self-determining people, right? As a people. Your mother talked about daily work is one way. Your mother talked about establishing what it is that we want so that we can actually get our definitions together about what we want for ourselves, for our community. But everything starts with self. So I want you to talk broadly about the need for us to, in this moment of chaos, right, where so many people are trying to figure out how to stabilize themselves mentally, practically. Some people are energized for the first time as a response to Trumpism and MAGA. uh, there's something about the internal work that is important if your work and what it stands for is going to have roots. Can you talk about the value systems that are important and what we can do as individuals to bring about change despite the chaos? Can we start there?
Yeah. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody who's on this call right now for sure. I appreciate you for giving us your time, your resources to this campaign. I was just at one event, but the event before this, two events before this one I'm on now, and I was in Plainfield, and some people came from Connecticut. 9 people drove down from Connecticut to canvass with us in Plainfield door to door because they understood the importance of this race in New Jersey, this governor's race in New Jersey. We get the first opportunity out of many states in this country to speak back or clap back against what's going on nationally. So it's incredibly important. And they thought it not robbery to come down here with their family and help us knock on doors. And you're right, it is chaos, but it's not arbitrary chaos. It's not chaos because there's a lack of a plan. There's chaos because the plan that they have in place is to create chaos. And create confusion and to overwhelm you with so many things all at once. You don't know how to defend yourself or what to defend first. That's basically what Trump has been doing. Steve Bannon, as his ideology, his theology, if you will. All of these people have sat around and figured out a way to steal from working people, and that's what they've been doing right in front of our faces, even and repeal most of the things that we fought for decades in just 100 days, and so. We have not responded the way we should respond. I think a lot of us have been caught off guard, unfortunately, because folks that were leading us were not fighting all the time. They left us vulnerable. And as you can see, we're extremely vulnerable. We just got permission from the Supreme Court to remove the protected status of 500,000 people who are all people of color, by the way, Venezuelans and Cubans and Haitians, which is at the same time he flies 59 Afrikaners to the United States from South Africa, saying they're being discriminated against. This man is an outright white supremacist. And I think ultimately what we need to be doing is organizing where we are, but we also need to be voting in all of these elections. And I know a lot of us as activists and other things, we don't necessarily vote the way we should, but we should be voting. What I've learned in my life as being an elected official, in my life of activism, the reality is we have been used to being on defense so long that when we get the ball, we give it back because we like defense the best. We rarely fight for an offensive strategy. We need an offensive strategy, meaning what do we want? What are we building? What are we putting in place? We sat back while they, got rid of the Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, where they threw people off the voting rolls. We watched them attack women's right to choose a long time ago. We watched them stack the Supreme Court, stack federal courts, and we really didn't open our mouths the way we should. We watched these people attack our history, and now DEI is the enemy of everything. Before we even really got DEI, the irony of that is that we have not gotten any real diversity, equity, and inclusion in the first place, but we're fighting to protect something that we barely even have, and which means that we have to turn it up, right? We really have to get involved in our organizations, do the things we need to do locally. We have to vote in all these elections. We really, really do. Community-based elections in terms of local elections, district leaders, council people, mayors, governors. We absolutely need to be involved. And we need to voice our concerns and speak out in all of our circles, not just the one circle that we feel comfortable with talking about politics in, but all of our circles. Because as you can see, this guy is dangerous, very, very, very dangerous person.
And you echoed exactly what I wanted you to echo, and I'm hoping that people will be energized and excited, because your mother, Amina Baraka, who is a great mother to all of us, talked about the daily work, and she talked about in one of these interviews the importance of talking to your neighbors, talking to your communities, and I think people might underestimate the importance of talking. Like you said, yes, it is voting, yes, it is donating, but it's about being informed. Can we make sure that we have in the chat, please, rasforgovernor.com? I'm sure that's there because people can support you, yes, monetarily, being informed, but they can actually, if you're anywhere near the state of New Jersey, people can go and volunteer and phone
Yeah,
bank and canvas, like you said, yes?
absolutely. I mean, we have an app too. I think it's called Ras Baraka Mobilize or Ras for Governor Mobilize. Is another app where you can see everywhere we go and sign up to be a part of our canvassing. My brother is in charge of the street work, the on the ground work. He was just in Plainfield today with a whole bunch of people, at least 100 people canvassing the doors. On our Super Saturdays, we would come out. We go out every day of the week, and we do a Super Saturday where everybody goes to one place at one time.
Right.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
I've been with you on those and then the campaigns, but this was in the 90s when I was knocking on
Yeah.
doors. But it's important. It's important, and we don't want that to be underestimated. I want to, because I know you don't have a whole bunch of time, I want to talk about your vision of the arts. There's a reason, like I said, why I started with the arts. We know that arts is critical, it's essential. It is as important as the tangible things. What is your vision for the state of New Jersey when it comes to art and education? Can you talk about that a little bit, please?
Yeah, I mean, in Newark, we have a creative catalyst fund that we stood up in the city that is designed to support artists, individual artists, and collectives and groups. So from art galleries to small art galleries to citywide murals and public art to plays to small theater groups to bigger companies. We know that art is important to speak to our emotions, speak to our spirit. But it's also an economic driver. It's been an economic driver for the city. It brings people. It creates business. It is the reason why people gravitate towards municipalities or metropolises. We know that museums and theater and movies and dance and song is why people travel to places. And I mean, New Jersey, we have one of the most diverse states in the nation, and we could take advantage of that diversity by having a statewide creative catalyst fund that invests money in arts groups and arts organizations statewide to make sure we do public art. And that's really what I'm interested in, making sure that art is public and art is consumed daily by the public.
Yes, I had to put you on mute for a second. I know when I was on your transition team, your first term as mayor, we did a lot of work, and your commitment to the arts was evident. And New Jersey Performing Arts Centers, what is it, the sixth largest performing arts center in the country? You know what I mean? So you were about to say something?
Yeah, and they're adding on to it. They're just doing a $300 million extension to the New Jersey Performing Arts Center now, building residents, extending the theater, and building a community center across the street for more public engagement.
Yeah, that's important. I want to just say to the audience, make sure that if you haven't already donated to this campaign, because like I said, we have a very short time. The link is in the chat. I'm sure if you have a question, I'm gonna need you to put it in the Q&A part, and not the chat. That's going to be helpful because we only just have a couple more minutes with the mayor. So make sure if you have a question, we can get to one or two, but I need you to put them in the part that says Q&A, so you can hear directly and hopefully get your question answered. Mayor Baraka, I know you've talked about a number of things, and I'm sorry, we need to shout out Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated as well. I love how you represent the organization, but about coalition building, how has that been successful for all the work that you've done with the city of Newark, what you envision when, not if, you become the governor of New Jersey, pulling all of the various peoples, in the state. Let's talk about that for a moment, please.
Yeah, I mean, we have to build a broad-based coalition, and we've been doing it. This morning, my wife had an event at New Jersey Performing Arts Center, Women for Baraka. We had Brazilians and Latinos and white women and Africans and, African Americans, Caribbean. It was a packed house, over 200 women there from multiracial, multinational backgrounds, multicultural. It was incredible. And the excitement that's going across the state in these different communities is just becoming more and more palpable. People can see it, they can taste it, they can feel it. And it's important for us to do that. This is the coalition that put Barack Obama in office twice. It is what we need here in the state of New Jersey. And then more importantly, there was multi different kind of organizations in there as well. Big organizations, small organizations, community-based organizations there, and that's what we need. We need community-based organizations, that are not, obviously 501c3, and those that are, they can come out individually and not as a group. But people have been there. We had the Black Women of New Jersey. They had strong, deep organization of 20,000 African-American women across the state of New Jersey who was represented well. About 30 or 40 of them were in the meeting this morning. Shout out to, Shanique, who's doing an absolutely outrageous job in organizing Black women across the state. And it becomes increasingly important, especially because Black women are the most loyal group of voters in a Democratic Party, to energize them to be a part of something greater than the party itself.
Yes. I'm going to stay off camera while we have a question from Akanke Washington. The question is, what are his plans for education? What are your plans for education in the state of New Jersey, and how do you plan to lower those exceptionally high taxes? So that came in from the audience, sir.
Right. So, I mean, those questions are actually one has a lot to do with the other. Your tax bills are mostly around schools. Schools are one of the highest costs of taxes besides healthcare costs that we need to reduce. Number one, New Jersey has more school districts than we have cities, which is ridiculous. And we got more cities than California, by the way, which is 8 times the size of New Jersey. That's because segregation is killing us in New Jersey economically. People haven't seen it. I mean, they don't talk about it in that way, so we don't understand the impact that it's having. New Jersey is the sixth most segregated state in the nation. We're more segregated than Alabama, in fact. So at the end of the day, we need to combine these school districts. We need unified school districts. We can no longer fund schools with just one school in them. You have to at least have a middle school, a high school, and an elementary school. And we need to combine our services and unify instruction across the state. We don't need any more of these county vocational schools. We could put vocational education and training in regular high school. We need 2 tracks of graduation anyway, a college preparatory track and a track for vocation, a track for building trades, for technology and coding, a track that would certify kids and they can graduate from high school and go right to a career. We're not interested in going to college. We don't need separate schools to do that. That should be the rule of every school in the state of New Jersey. And we need to change the school funding formula, which will help us reduce taxes as well. The school funding formula is old and is broken, and New Jersey Supreme Court has already said we shouldn't be funding schools by property tax anyway, and which is why the state subsidizes schools across the state, because we've been funding it by property tax. I think schools should be funded based on income and not property. The income of the kids in the school should dictate how much money the state gives them, not the people who own the property in that city. That's number one. And we need to weight heavier on English language learners, weight heavier on schools who teach kids with special needs, weight heavier on diversity. So schools that have figured out a way to make their student body more diverse, then we begin to give them extra dollars to do that, and give more money to schools that are community-based schools that stay open early in the morning and close later in the evening, because they have community-based organizations embedded in their school day, whether it's high dosage tutoring, whether it's mentorship, whether it's martial arts training, or childcare, all those things that are important to our students and our teachers to get them through the school year. We need to fund that on a statewide basis. Your property taxes are too high because of that. And, and it's too high because there's too many cities. We need to combine our services.
Yes, we have another question, and we're not going to get to all of them, family. I will let you know that, but we have your email addresses. You can email us. Can someone put in the chat the email that I will share is supportforraz@AKILAWorksongs.com. That's our email address as organizers of this event. So we'll do our due diligence since our time is cut short. So another question is, Mayor, do you feel the guaranteed income pilot project is replicable in the state of New Jersey and a model for other cities?
Yeah, I mean, I joined that. I was the second mayor to join that.
Yes.
From our good mayor, Mayor Tubbs in Stockton in California, who was an awesome leader, by the way, one of the youngest mayors in the country at that time, who organized mayors all over the country to do mayors for guaranteed income. We jumped on it. We were a part of it. We took about 400 families and we put them in our pilot program. Most of these folks spent money on rent, on food, on advancing their own education, on putting money back into the economy for their family. And we didn't give them a lot of money. We gave them about $500 to $600, and it had a life-changing impact in their family's life. So yes, I think that not only can the state do this, but so can the country. You saw the country do it. They did it in the form of stimulus checks, and they gave it to everybody. But I think money. I don't believe in universal basic income right now. I believe in guaranteed income. Guaranteed income is for people who are living a certain amount below the poverty level or at the poverty level should be given a little bit of cash to pull themselves up and out of their situation. And we need to figure out what that is. The state can do that as well. They can do it through expanding earned income tax credits. They can do that through child tax credits. They can do that through baby bonds. They can do it through many different forums. But we just have to talk about what's the easiest way to get unfettered cash into people's pockets without rules. Unlike all the other ways that you get money in this country, they put all these regulations on you so you can't spend money the way you need to spend the money. And so you got people selling food stamps or selling, the care that they get from the federal government because they can't use that they can't pay their rent with it. They can't do these other kind of things with it. So we need to give them unfettered cash. And that's what guaranteed income is.
Right. I'm sorry that we don't have as much time, but I want the audience to know support for Raz at AKILAWorksongs.com is where you can email us. We'll share
Yeah,
these questions.
we
But
can
Mayor
take a
Baraka,
couple more.
say
Yeah,
it again. Yo,
we
you
can take a couple more. Yeah,
okay?
we can a couple
That,
more. Yeah,
that's
I'm
why
gonna get
we
in
love
trouble,
you.
but we would do it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to be mindful. I didn't want to get yelled at.
yeah.
Here's
I
one.
take it. Yeah.
Although, and I'm reading these for the first time in real time. Although the Newark Airport is operated by Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, what can and will you work to do to rectify the myriad issues that are affecting travel for thousands of domestic and international travelers?
Yeah, well, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is not really responsible for what's happening at the Newark Airport. So I just want to say that I have problem. We fight Port Authority, trust me, but they're not the issue. The issue is the federal government, the FAA. Trump came in and let go 400 air traffic controllers and blamed everything on DEI. The infrastructure was a problem a long time ago. That coupled with the fact that some of the air traffic controllers that were there walked off the job because trauma. They didn't want to be up there by themselves in a plane crash and be responsible for it, right? Plus, Newark is undergoing, one of their runways to be fixed, but that's not really it. The problem is we have too many planes in our airspace, right? And I think, even the crazy people in the Trump administration began to understand that we need to hire more air traffic controllers and not fire them. Our airspace is governed by Philadelphia, actually, where the radar and the systems are that are old and they need to be repaired, immediately. They said that they have now a cable line or a fiber optic cable that they're able to install that's going to make that better. We'll see that they're going to hire people in an emergency level quickly. We'll see. This is all has to be done by the federal government. It's not Port Authority or locally. Port Authority is responsible and United Airlines for fixing that runway, and it should be done by the middle of June, and that should be taken care of. But ultimately, we just need less planes in the air until it's fixed. I know people are going to be inconvenienced, but I would rather people be inconvenienced and alive than convenienced and dead. The reality is Newark Airport had anywhere between 60 to 80 flights in the air an hour. Right, our airspace is more crowded and busy than New York's, and so we need to tone that down a lot. And they began doing that until we get this problem fixed, which means you're not going to be able to take as many flights out of Newark as you wanted to until we get this problem taken care of, right? And we're going to have to deal with that until we get the runway fixed, until they hire more air traffic controllers and they get this infrastructure in place.
I thank you for clarifying that because I know it was only after a while that the news report started to reveal that this was a nationwide problem and it was on a
Yeah.
federal level. But in the beginning, everybody was like, "Boo Newark." You know what I mean? So thank you
Yeah.
for adding that clarity. Family, I think we have a question for one more. Sandy, help me if I'm missing some questions that should be in the chat. Mayor, we thank you for extending your time. If we don't have any other questions, then I'm going to give you the final word. We know that your schedule is bananas, so we thank you. But I do want people to not take for granted the need for financial support, right? This is a monumental campaign. So the donation link is already in the chat. Let me let you know with the donation link that we're sharing, you can donate from up to $5,800. Anything under that is acceptable. So definitely, as an individual, your financial support is critical. So there's no goal here for tonight or anything of the sort. We just need people to give what they can. And if you can't give financially, you can volunteer. RasForGovernor.com is where you can be more informed and where you can find out where your sweat equity is. So, Mayor Baraka, I'm going to give you the last word, that the thing that you want us to leave with, because we don't have additional questions that I can tell, and we will bid you adieu as you continue campaigning. So, sir, final
Yep,
word.
I want to thank April and all of my friends up here. I see a couple of names from BNF, a couple of people from Howard. I appreciate you guys for always supporting me for a very, very, very long time in the work we're doing in Newark and in this state. And like the people that came today from Connecticut to help us pass out flyers in Plainfield, they know that this is a moral moment that we're in right now. It's the same moment we were in when those kids sat in the Woolworth lunch counter in North Carolina, from North Carolina A&T. Either you was with those kids or you stood in your dormitory, right? When those 4 girls got blown up in the church in Birmingham, either you spoke out against that or you kept your mouth shut, right? That either you were the ones throwing rocks at the Little Rock Nine while they were trying to desegregate the schools, or you were protecting them and speaking out against segregation in this country. It's a moral moment, and this moment we're in is going to judge us all. It's going to judge us either quietly or loudly. It's going to judge us what side we ended up on. What do we say? What did we do? Why they was banning books, why they were closing down or attacking the African American Museum, why they was telling us we couldn't read Maya Angelou, why they were attacking Black people outright. While they were stopping the Department of Justice from allowing banks to redline in communities, for taking away consent decrees from communities that needed the most, because those cops have been raining havoc and hell on those communities, stopping the DOJ from defending long-time segregated places in the South and segregated districts, voting districts and school districts. And where were we when they were kidnapping immigrants off the street, right? And sending them back to places that our relatives and our ancestors came from, right? What did we do and what did we say? We got an opportunity here in this moral moment to think about something bigger than ourselves. And we can't be the first generation of people that have refused to sacrifice for the generations that come after us. All of the stuff you got is because somebody allowed you to go into those rooms with their blood, with their life, with their protest. You wouldn't even be in those rooms if it wasn't for other people. I know you think you're smart and you got a good resume, but it was a time when people wouldn't even read your resume. And so people sacrificed a lot for you to have the luxury and the privilege that you have today, that you enjoy right now. And it is completely unfair and irresponsible for you to allow your children and your children's children to have to fight fights that your grandparents fought for you. It is incredibly wrong. And we have to stand up now. If we don't do nothing else, we have to stand up on the side of right. And this campaign in New Jersey represents the ultimate clapback against what's happening right now nationally in this country. And I thank you for your support.
We love you. We will be at the victory party like we were, all before. We love you dearly. We're going to demonstrate that support. We will be with you on Election Day, June 10th. And we will see you all the way through November. So we will have you back, and we thank you so much. We will bid you adieu, but it's with a full heart of gratitude and respect, and we will show and prove as a community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, April. Much love for you and all of you out there. God bless y'all.
Same to you, sir.
Okay.
All right, family. This is the moment. It's nothing I can say to you heard the mayor speak. So I just want to make sure that you know that there's something you can do. You can share the donation link. You can tell your people about razforgovernor.com. The donation link for this event is going to stay open. So if you don't have the dollars, if you don't have $5 today, maybe you'll have it next Friday. But the donation link that you see in the chat is the donation link that's going to live. It will not be discontinued. So definitely tell your people. But importantly, also, is that you become informed that everything that you feel right now that's making you be like, yeah, transfer that to your family and friends and talk about it. So, on that note, I think we have in the chat the email address if you have questions. Yeah, if you know me a little bit, you know I'm going to get those questions out there to the mayor. And on that note, enjoy this last day of the month. Let's get ready for June. Let's do what we can, and even a little bit more. So, family, stay up. Take care.